This is lecture number 3 in game theory, and in this video I'll be discussing about game without saddle point. And here I'm going to consider how to solve 2 cross 2 2% zero sum game. But before we move forward, let us see what is the definition of the saddle point. A pair of strategy AI Bj for which max min is equal to min max equal to the value of the game is called the saddle point, and we have denoted this value by V bar, and on this side we have denoted V upsize bar line. Now consider this example where I want to solve this 2 cross 2 2% zero sum game, and here we have player 1 and player 2. So suppose if I apply the normal definition to find out the saddle point, then what will happen? Because it is a payoff matrix for player A1, so on this side I'm going to first find the minimum. So the minimum profit, which is -3, and on this side it is -3. Then I want to choose maximum of these two, that is -3. On the player 2 side, I want to apply a minimum maximum loss. So this means here I'm going to first find maximum, and this quantity maximum is 8 and here the maximum is 1, and then I want to find the min max. So this is what we do usually, and here this quantity was actually max min. Now the maximum min max of these two quantity is 1. Now you can see here this value which is we have denoted by V bar is written as the lower side. So this means this value is our V bar, and here this value is V upper bar. Now these two are not same. So if these two are not same, so that means we do not this, and also this is obviously not equal to the value of the game because these two quantities are not equal. So this implies that there is no saddle point. If we get the saddle point, then automatically that becomes the value of the game, and hence the optimal solution. We can find out from which strategy does it come, and it gives us the pair of strategy which is optimal. But in this case we did not find a saddle point. So let us see how to proceed now. For such type of the question, when you have 2 cross 2, there are two strategies. There were two players, player 1 and player 2. How to proceed now for this question when there is no saddle point? So to solve the above question, what we need to do is we need to apply this theorem. And in this case, I have considered a 2 cross 2 2% zero sum game. We can see here on one side I have player 1, that is given with strategies A1 and A2. So this side it is player A, and on the other side this is player B, and this also have two strategy B1 and B2. And in the green color I have written that A1 strategy is adopted by player A with probability P1, and A2 strategy is adopted by player A with probability P2. And similarly, if player B opt for B1 strategy, then this comes with probability Q1, and if B opt for strategy B2, this comes with the probability Q2. And the optimum mix strategy SA, which is A1, A2, and SB, which is B1, B2. Now these optimal strategies come with certain properties. So how to determine the probability? So probability is given by this formula P1, and Q1 is given by this case. So obviously we know that there are only two probabilities. So one of the standard result, that if P1 plus P2 we do, this has to be equal to 1. And similarly, because there were two strategies, so the total sum of the probability should be equal to 1 in both the cases. So we'll see what is the formula for P1, and once we know what is the formula for P1, we can calculate what is P2. P2 is simply 1 minus P1. And similarly, once we say what is the formula for Q1, we can calculate what is the Q2, which is 1 minus Q1. Now let us see what is P1. To calculate P1, which is the probability of the first strategy, what we do is we subtract this A22 minus A21. So for this we look at this columns, A21 minus A22, and in the denominator we strictly have the simply like a determinant, but here the quantities are actually added. So you follow like we calculate the determinant in the matrices. So you see here A11 plus A22, this is the first term. Look here again, this is the addition of these two terms. This is A11 plus A22, and to calculate the other side, A12 plus A21, what we do is we sum these two quantity. So this is denominator everywhere. So with this is denominator everywhere, you can see in all the properties the denominator is fixed. Okay, but the numerator get changed. So if I want to calculate for A2, so I am going to look up now this one. So for A2, that means player A come with property P2, and we calculate P2 with 1 minus P1, and this means for this I will be doing A11 minus A2. So this is subtracted. So I'm going to subtract these two quantity. Okay. While for A1 I'm going to subtract these two quantities. So it is the other way around. It is A22 minus A21. Similarly, if I want to understand for the Q1, I'll look up the quantities which are here in B2. So you see here for Q1, this is A22 minus A1 in the numerator. This is given A22 minus A1. And for B2, I'm going to look up now the other column, which is, now if it is upward, this way I'm going to look downward. So this is A11 minus A21. So you can see this is the property. Now in a minute I'm going to prove this formula. How did we arrive to these equations? And the value of the game, this is the value of the game, as we already denoted this symbol, value of game. In this case again, denominator is same. In this case also denominator is same as we have already calculated, which is the addition of these two terms and the subtraction of these two terms. But for the numerator also, if I want to calculate, this is simply the determinant. Determinant means if we first multiply these two terms minus the multiplication of these two terms, which you can see A11, A22 minus A12 into A21. That is the value of the game. Now let us apply this theorem to the question, and then we will prove this theorem. How did I got these probabilities P1 and P2? Because it is sufficient to show what is P1 and Q1, automatically we can find P2 and Q2. So we will try to establish these formula, and hence we will try to see what is the value of the game. But let's see now this into this question. So we have just taken this example earlier, player 1 and player A and player B, and we have seen that there is no saddle point. So in this case, that means player A is coming with two strategy A1, A2, and player B is also coming with two strategy B1, B2. And in this case, A1 is coming with probability P1, A2 is coming with probability P2. B1 has selection, the player B select B1 strategy with probability Q1, and similarly this will with Q2. Now in this case, I simply want to apply this formula. So let us see what is P11, and to calculate P11, I am just writing now the element in the matrix notation so that we can read which are the element. For P1, I want to calculate A22 minus A21, which is given here in the numerator, A22 minus A21. So this means this way I am going to subtract. So this will give me the probability for P1. So if I am looking for player A, look for the probability subtraction horizontally, and the other one P2 will be given like this. Okay. And for the player B, I'm going to look at vertically up and vertically upward and downward. So this just to remember how to look at the probabilities. So P1 is 1 minus minus 3. That means I'm taking now for this case because I'm applying for P1. And in the denominator, I'm going to write 8 plus 1 minus of minus 3 minus 3. This quantity is 4 by 15. So if it is 4 by 15, I can calculate what is P2. P2 is simply 1 minus 4 by 15, and this quantity is 11 by 15. And similarly, I can calculate now Q1. For Q1, I'm going to look up vertically, but it is upward now in this case. For calculating of P1, we want to see now in this case, look at here. And look at here, this is A22 minus A12. So this way we calculate for Q1. So Q1 is now 1 minus of minus 3 divided by 8 plus 1 minus of minus 3 minus 3. Denominator is always same. We have seen in the formula. So this is 15 by 4. And again, by chance, this comes out to be the exactly same, 11 by 15. Once we have calculated P1, Q1, we can also calculate what is the value of the game. For value of the game, we have just simply seen it is like a determinant. So in the denominator quantity is same. So I can keep the denominator exactly same. And in the numerator is simply like taking the determinant of these two quantities. So it is A11 minus A22 minus A12 into A21. So when I multiply these two quantity, we get here, this is 8 minus of minus 3 into minus 3. So this quantity becomes 8 minus of 9, and this becomes minus 1 by 15. So this becomes the value of the game. So this means player A will come with a strategy. So what we'll write is, so we will say A has strategy A1, A2, with probability P1, and this value is 4 by 15. If player A select A2 strategy, this will come with probability 11 by 15, which is the value for P2. So this is the strategy A will have. B will have the strategy B1 with probability which is 4 by 15, and B2 will have again the second strategy with probability Q2 which is 11 by 15, and the value of the game is minus 1 by 15. And this one is because we have written here, this is a payoff matrix for A because player A is written on the left hand side, so and the value of the game is minus 1 by 15. So in other sense it is a benefit to player B. So we may say that this is a benefit for player B and a loss to player A because of the negative quantity. But this, we say that this is the value of the game. Now let us do the proof of this theorem, and here is the game given to us where we have two players with coming with A1 A2 strategy, and then we have player B with B1 B2 strategy, and I am also attaching here the probabilities P1 P2 and Q1 Q2. And in this case we know the total sum of the probabilities individually, this is equal to 1 for the player A also and for the player B also. Now let's say on this side I am writing the mixed strategies for player A. So this side I write mixed strategy for player A, and on this side let me to write here the mixed strategy for player B. So because we have to see independently also for both the player. Now in this case, if player B1 select the B1 strategy, look at here, if player B1 select the B1 strategy, in this case A has the choice to select A1 or A2 with probability P1 and P2. So this means I am fixing now, if player B moves B1, the net expected gain of A is, this is the expected gain of A, we may say the expected gain of A, this is A11 with probability P1 plus A21 with probability P2. So what I did is I simply looked at this data. If B1 is applying, so this A11 is going to come up with P1, A22 is going to come up with probability P2. So look at only the vertically, and the expected gain of A is this one. Similarly, if player B moves B2, then the expected gain. So now rather than writing A here, what I am doing is I am only simply writing the symbol for the probability, because the strategy of A is dependent upon these probability P1, P2. So here I am writing the symbol P that stands for both P1 and P2, and hence the expected gain for the player A if B moves B2 is this. And in this case, because it is B2 strategy, now B is using the B2 strategy. This means it is A11 to come with probability P1, A22 comes with probability P2. So in this case, I am going to write A12 with P1 and A22 with P2. And so on the other side, we now see the mixed strategy for player B. And suppose we fix that A player uses A1. So A1 uses this, that means B1 and B2 can come with probability Q1 and Q2. So if A1 is fixed, this means A11 can come with Q1 probability, A12 can come with Q2. So B's expected gain, first expected gain, if A moves A1, this quantity is A11 Q1 plus A12 Q2. And similarly, if player A moves A2, in this case, by looking at the second row, you can see here clearly the second expected gain is either A21 with first probability and then A22 with second probability. Now obviously we want to maximize, we want to get the total gain from here, and similarly if it is payoff matrix for A, this is gain. For payoff matrix for B also, it becomes then the loss, because we have written A on the left hand side, so this is payoff for this. So what is the total expected gain? So total expected gain of player A, this is the EPQ, because for the selection of A player, it also counts the now player B. So I'm here now, I'm writing PQ, both the probabilities are involved, and in both the probabilities are involved, I'm now looking at the EPQ, and here we have P and Q both, because there are probabilities involved for the player A and for the player B. Now let us see how did we write the total expected gain of player A. when B mixes his moves with property Q1 and Q2. So what was the strategy? Look at again, this is A1, A2, and here we have B1, B2. Okay, this is the data A11, A12, A21, A22. Now suppose B fixes the strategy B1. This means the expected gain for A1 is this into the probability, that is P1, and this into its probability P2. So this means I am fixing now B1, and then the expected gain for A1 and A2 is this quantity. So that means Q1 probability, because the selection for B1 comes with the probability Q1. So if B1 is selected, this comes with probability Q1, and in this case Q1 comes with A11 into P1 plus A21 into P2, plus similarly if B2 is applied by player P, this comes with the probability Q2, and in this case now if I am going to read, A12 comes with P1 probability and A22 comes with P2. So this means if I am now putting the data with respect to Q2, that is the second move of B1, this means A12 into P1 plus A22 into P2. So look at this is the expected gain of player A. When I say expected gain of player A, that means B's moves are here. These are B's moves. B move B1, B move B2. Okay, so this is expected gain of player A. If B moves B1, this is the expected of probability for A. This is expected. You can write it like this: expected gain for A player. And if B moves B2, this becomes the expected gain for A. Okay. Now in this process, so this means now this depicts both independently, whichever is selected by B. B moves B1 and B moves B2. Similarly, if I want to write now the expected gain for player B, so first I am going to put here the probability for the first strategy, that is P1, and on this position I am going to first write the P2, and hence inside I am going to write the expected gains for this one. So similarly you can construct an expected gain or the loss for player B depending upon whether B is on the left hand side or on the top. In this question, because B is in the top of the side, so we may write expected loss of player B. Now player A want to maximize the gain, and so this is what EPQ we have just written here in this previous step. And here, rather than writing P2, P2 and Q2, what I am doing is I am just simply replacing P2 by 1 minus P1, so that my data is only in two variable P1 and Q1, and I can get the condition on P1 and Q1. So this means here I am rewriting this data as A11 P1 plus A21, and this I am writing 1 minus P1, plus Q2 also I am writing 1 minus Q1, and then we have A12 P1 plus A22 1 minus P1. So that is the simple conversion of the data. Now simply when we open this term and we rearrange these terms, and here you rearrange these terms in a way that we want to write the expression in the form of P1 minus something. So I'll write here what is this quantity, Q1 minus something, and then remaining term. So the remaining term is actually here, that what term you get is the constant. This is free from the, this term is constant term, and this is free from the probabilities. This is free from probabilities. So now we want to rewrite this term by rearranging these terms that are appearing here in a way that it comes as P1 minus something, Q1 minus something plus the constant term. So the term is this lambda into P1 minus this quantity, Q1 minus this quantity plus this quantity, where the denominator I have written lambda as A11 plus A2. So this is the same quantity that we have shown in the formula, which is A11 plus A22 minus A12 plus A21, and here the lambda is multiplied. So this step, how did I return this step? So this star, this detailed rearrangement I have added in the proof of this star I have added in the description box. So you can look here, how did I have rearranged them. Okay, so this is simple. This is simply rearranging, no other involvement of the mathematics. Simply take out the terms common and then take out the terms P1 separate, and we find this expression. Now this is a very nice expression because here you can see this is last term is a constant term. So once the last term is a constant term, so we can see here very clearly. Let's see now, if A chooses, so if A chooses P1 probability. So we can see here now, if A chooses P1 probability with this quantity, suppose the value of the P1 is this one. So this means this particular factor will become 0. So this factor will become 0. If this factor will become 0, this means 0 into this whole term goes into 0. So if the whole term goes into 0, so the expected gain is only this constant term. So that becomes the value of the gain because it is free from the probabilities. And similarly, if B chooses the probability Q1 with the factor which is in the second factor, that is A22 minus A12 by lambda, then the second factor becomes 0, then this factor becomes 0, and if again this factor becomes 0, the whole quantity becomes 0. So again this is the constant term. So once we have selected P1, P2, we know what is the value for P2 and Q2 also. So for these value, expected gain and expected loss is optimal for both the player because they both will settle down at a quantity which becomes the value of the game. So this becomes the value of the game. And we see here, so now value of the game is simply A11 into A22 minus A12 into A21. That is the claim. And in the denominator we have lambda. So lambda is the same. We can see here lambda is the same quantity that we have written, addition of A11 plus A22 and then subtraction of the diagonally opposite terms. Okay, so hence, and we have already calculated what is probability P1. So if you can look at again probability P1, we have selected A22 minus A21 by lambda. So this quantity is A22 minus A21 upon A11 plus A22 minus A12 plus A21. And similarly, we can write down the value for Q1 and hence the proof. So we must take a note here, the formula that we have just discussed, these are valid for 2x2 game without the saddle point. Now let us do this example. For the game with the following payoff matrix, determine the optimum strategy and the value of the game. So this is A and B. And we can quickly see here, first of all, that whether there is a saddle point or not, so that we can apply the this theorem. So if I want to apply here, this is the player A, and in this case, this is player B. So the minimum is 1, minimum is 3. Here the maximum is 5, here the maximum is 4. And in this case, I want to find min-max, so which is 5. In this case, I have selected minimum and then I want to find max-min. So max-min is 3. And you can see here, this 3 is not equal to 5. And we can see this 3 and 5, they are not same, so no saddle point. So if there is no saddle point, then we need to apply this probability formula. If there was a saddle point, then we already had the Nash equilibrium stage and that was the optimal. So now in this case, there is no optimal point. So let us apply the theorem. So first I am writing the proofs of the theorem. What did we said in the proof of the theorem? These were the probabilities. So as there is no saddle point, so we apply theorem. So this is the problem and we say that these are the probabilities for the two strategies and these are the probability for two strategies of B, that is B1 and B2. We have seen in the proof of the theorem how did we get the expected gain of the player A. So I am writing here expected gain for player A. So if I want to write for player A, irrespective what B moves, so first we'll have to put the moves of player B. So these are the moves for player B. So Q1, Q2, when I put their probability, that means I have considered both the moves of B. And then I'm writing the expected gain of A. So this means it is inside, it will be 5P1 plus 3P2. This is how 5P1 plus 3P2 if Q1 is fixed. If Q1 is fixed and then if Q2 is fixed, in this case, I am writing 1 into P1 and then 4 into P2. So this is P1 plus 4 times P2. We may also convert now, we have seen in the proof what we have done. We have converted this P2 into 1 minus P1 and then we have converted Q2 also in 1 minus Q2 so that my expression at the end comes in a situation where I can write some factor P1 times something and here I can write Q1 times something. In this case, this quantity becomes 5 times 1 by 5 Q1 minus 3 by 5 plus the constant term that is 17 by 5. So we know this is now the constant term and this is the value of game. This is the value of the game. And here by looking at this property, we know whenever P1 is equal to 1 by 5, so obviously this quantity becomes 0 and in that case this becomes the value of the game. Whenever Q1 is equal to 3 by 5 from this factor we know, Again, this is the value for game. So this means P1 is selected with probability 1 by 5 and Q1 has the value equal to 3 by 5. So we may say A1 comes with probability 1 by 5. So automatically A2 comes with the probability 4 by 5, which is 1 minus 1 by 5. B1 strategy comes with the probability 3 by 5. So automatically B2 comes with the strategy 2 by 5. And in this case, value of the game is 17 by 5. So this is the total optimal answer. This is the total optimal answer. But sometimes there is a difficulty in writing this expression, which is again I'm denoting by star, because sometimes we can't extract what are the term P1, how we will decide the constant factor. This is 5 that we are in additionally multiplying and dividing. You must have observed in the proof, that is lambda, I have multiplied and divided. So rather than applying this proof of the theorem, what I am going to do is I am directly applying the formula, which is now much more easier. We have already seen in the previous example how to find the alternate. Alternatively, simply apply the formula. So for applying the formula, we have this as the equation. Simply match these quantities with these one, A to 2, A to 2, and we know what is the first probability, P1. To calculate P1, we have seen here, this is P1, this is P2. To calculate P1, I want to read here and then we have to subtract like this. Okay, so this means I am going to now subtract 4 minus 3 upon denominator is diagonally addition and the opposite to diagonal addition, and then simply subtract these two quantities. So this is 5 plus 4 minus 1 plus 3. This quantity is 1 upon 9 minus 4. So this is 1 by 5. And you can see that this quantity that we have already calculated P1 and this calculated, they are same. So this is the rearrangement. So it is better to apply the formula rather than going through the proof step, because we are going to achieve the same thing. And in this case, Q1, to calculate Q1, we have to go now vertically upward. So this was from the formula, this was A22 minus A12. So here I am directly applying now the formula. So this means it is 4 minus 1 upon denominator is same, 5 minus 4, 1 plus 3. So this case, this is 3 by 5. This is also same as what we have already observed. And for the value of the game also you can apply the formula. Value of the game is simply diagonally multiplied, which is the determinant. So this means it is 20 minus 3 divided by the same denominator. Denominator is every time coming by 5. So this is 17 by 5. And this value is same that we have already calculated as the value of the game. So this is the value of game. So it is better that we apply these formula that we have derived in the theorem rather than following the steps of the theorem. And in the end, we may say player A opt for strategies, for strategy A1 with probability P1, which is equal to 1 by 5. A2 with probability P2, which is equal to 4 by 5. This is the strategy for player A. B opt for the strategy B1. In this case, the probability for Q1 is 3 by 5. For B2, this probability is 2 by 5. And for both the player, they will settle down on an optimal value of the game, and the value of the game is 17 by 5. This is the final optimal answer for this particular game. And why do we call this as optimal? Because they both settle down at one particular value of the game. That is why we consider this as the optimal strategy. These are the optimal probabilities for which they will settle down. Now these are few exercise problems that you can apply again. In these two problems, there is no settle point. And you can apply again the probability formula to calculate their expected gain for that player A and player B. And in this case, we have written X and Y. And in my next video, I am going to cover graphic solution of 2 cross n games and the graphic solution for m cross 2 game. In both the problems, why I am saying graphical solution or graphic solution? Because using the graphical solution, I am going to convert both the problem into a 2 cross 2 game problem. So I am going to leave many other strategies and I am going to find what would be the actually reduced 2 cross 2 game. Once I get 2 cross 2 game and there is no settle point, so I am going to apply the same formula that we have just applied to the previous case. So this conversion is first done by the graphical and then we apply the similar formula to find the optimal solution of the game. So watch my next video.